Yo, yo, yo. Peace, love, and blessings to all my kings and my queens out there on this Shabbat Saturday. I hope you're enjoying it. Spending time with your loved ones, spending time with the kids. I pray that this day brings forth peace, love, happiness, and opportunities. I love to see my people grow. I love to see those that enjoy living their best life ever. And have fun doing it. Continue to grow. If it's growth within yourself, growth within your relationship or your marriage, long as you are growing in areas that you need growth in. Why do black people tell other black people, go back where you came from? Since we are addressing elephants in the room, why is there so much racism with other blacks? Anybody care to share? Since you want to come for somebody, straight out the gate, she coming hard for this man. But here's the thing though. When you try to come hard for somebody, be careful. Because when that person flips it on you, you got to be able to take that.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And
he's telling the truth. That man has done a lot for blacks in more ways than one that has not been reported. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they brought him there just to shame him. And I can see that, but I can also see where it kind of backfires on them when he started clapping back. Now, that's one of the things that could hurt Donald Trump because he has no filter. Okay? He don't mean no harm. He says what's on his mind and he speaks his piece. He calls it how he sees it. But in this case, let's look at it this way. There's a whole lot of cages that need to be rattled. There's a whole lot of trees that need to be shaken. So Trump being who he is, maybe they need to hear that, so that they can take a close look at themselves.
A step further, I was invited here and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was
President,
wrong.
I would love
I think
if you
it's
can
a
answer
very
the question
nasty
on your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I have
believe that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
should trust you with another
I
4
have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln.
It's true. You got to give him that. Whether y'all want to believe it or not, you got to give him that. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt for showing up. At least he showed up. Kamala Harris didn't.
That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
It is acceptable. We know what time it is. You know a puppet when you see one. Come on now. This is where you start to think logic and step out of your feelings and emotions.
Question,
you have to define it. Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think
it's not about her being a black woman. The reason why she's on the ticket is because there is no one that could run up against Trump. They have no one, and they have to follow protocol. What's the protocol? If the president of the United States is unable to perform his or her duty, okay, then they go to the vice president. Okay, that's the second string. When your starter is unable to perform, you take out your starter and you take your second string and you put them in position. That's what they did with Kamala Harris. So it has nothing to do with her being black, with her being a woman, her going to a black school, because you got other women of other races that go to a black school. Stop it.
Maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So,
but look at the people in the audience, their reactions. You know what he's saying is true. It's the fact that he's saying it.
The one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir.
Yeah, she became a black person to get black people's votes, especially the black women's votes. He right about that, because look what we see. He said something that was real, and look what the fuck we seeing right now. that Meg the Stallion of all people, ain't that a bitch? Meg the Stallion would have did better just coming out, saying a few words and leaving. She came out doing twerkology. Twerkology. Fucking twerkology. Okay, hotties. Nigga, hotties? Y'all are thotties. All y'all got weaves. All y'all look fake. Caked on makeup and just fake. Meg the Stallion look like she got Down syndrome.
You told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion. Look, I want to talk about why you're here today. I mean, it is not lost on us how divided we are as a country. And as you were coming today, we really got to see that we were divided along the lines of race, along the lines of gender. And there is this question of, in this moment where we are, why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists...
I want y'all to listen to how Trump answers that question. Okay? Because if Kamala Harris was there, would the same questions be the same? Or will the questions be different? We already know the energy would be different. But listen to his response. See, this is where we start tapping into logic. Okay? Yes, we are in a time of division. Black men and black women, this is like a real bad division. But I take it a step further. Why is the black community so divided the way that it is? What's really going on behind closed doors that most are not paying attention to because they want your focus on this division while they doing whatever it is that they are planning to do behind closed doors so that you don't catch it, but you keep your focus on the division.
I know and I have great respect for. A lot of the journalists in this room are black.
There's a large number of black people in that damn audience. There are 3 black journalists on that damn stage.
$15, $16, $17 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that, and Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history of the world. There's never been a border czar like this. She's never even essentially been. She said she was there once, but not the right part of the border. So she was a border czar. She's done a horrible job. These people are coming into our country, and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs, and frankly, they're taking union jobs. Unions are being very badly affected by all of the millions of people that are pouring into our country. And one thing, as we discussed, many of these people are coming in from mental institutions, from prisons, from jails. They're gang members in other countries. Other countries are setting loose their prisoners. They're opening up their prisons and their mental institutions, and they're taking their bad people, drug dealers, gang members, and they're bringing them into the United States. And by the way, their crime rate is going down, and our crime rate is going to be a disaster.
Mr. President?
Senator J.D. Vance is your running mate. He's had a lot of controversy lately, and I want to read you a few things that he has said in the past. He said the Democrats running the country are a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. He's not talking here about how great it is to be a parent. He's attacking what he says are the choices people are making to not have children. Did you know that he had these views about people who do not have children before you picked him to be your running mate? And do you agree with him?
No, I know this. He is very family oriented. and he thinks family is a great thing. That doesn't mean he thinks that if you don't have a family, it's not. I know people with families. I know people with great families. I know people with very troubled families. And I also know people with no families. They didn't meet the right person. Things happen. You go through life, you don't meet the right person.
But he's not just talking about families here. He also says that people that don't have children should get less votes than those that do.
I'm just speaking for myself.
Is that your campaign
I think
position?
I'm speaking for him too. He strongly believes in family, but I know people with great families. I know people with not great families that don't have a family, and the people without the family are far better. They're superior in many cases, okay? He's not saying they're not. What he's saying is that he thinks the family experience is a very important thing. It's a very good thing. But that doesn't mean that if you grow up and you grow older and you don't meet somebody that would be wonderful to meet and would have been good, that that's a bad thing. He's not saying that. My interpretation, you'll have to ask him, actually, but
of American life is one person, one vote. Senator J.D. Vance has suggested that someone who has children should have more votes than a person who does not have children. I just want to be clear here. Is that the position of your campaign?
Well, no, but it's not something I have ever heard before. I can tell you this. Right now you have illegal aliens coming into our country, many from prisons and many from mental institutions, and they want to give them votes. I don't think they should have votes. They came into our country illegally, and they're taking the vote away from all of the people in this room that have been here a long time, that have worked hard, that in many cases, and you'll see this happening, if I'm not elected, you're going to see it happen. If I am, you're not going to have any problem. But you're going to see it happening a long time. You're going to see the people in this room and people outside of this room are going to be losing their jobs, the people that have come into this country illegally.
Boom. Bombshell. Shots fired.